Happy Saturday, and welcome to the Ramashram Satsang Weekend Workshop, where you will learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Shivangi, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I would like to give you a brief overview to this Satsang session. If you direct your attention to the screen, you will see that the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our lives. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with, to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of satsang. When we meditate, our consciousness is drawn from worldly objects and directed inward to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, leading us to higher states of consciousness such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsangs, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior. But it is only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. This is the type of satsang we will learn today, where we meditate in silence. Group sessions. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but it is only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy that we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Next, the agenda for today's session consists of three parts: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, our founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, instructions on how to meditate will be given, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you will have the opportunity to ask questions or there will be a panel discussion. And now, I would like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He is the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ramashram Satsang. He was born into a satsang family where he witnessed his family members obtaining states of enlightenment and live lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India facilitating satsangs. During that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. Upon arriving in the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangis. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by our Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji and his daughter Parul.
Happy Saturday, everyone. We'll start with Parul and then go into meditation. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for being here. So I will start with today's topic of the day, and then Dad will hopefully jump in and get us through our guided meditation. So today I actually wanted to talk about one of the aspects of karma, which I think is, comparing and judging others or judging ourselves. And I mean, especially for people who are on social media or, go to work and we're constantly seeing other people's lives and people's highlight reels. So this was just something that's on my mind that, if you're looking for the easiest way to understand this one aspect of karma, it's that if I have a beautiful dinner and I'm sitting next to someone who also has a similarly beautiful dinner, everything is great while I'm looking at my own plate and I'm eating off of my own plate. But suddenly I might get the urge to look at that other person's plate. And then guess what happens? My energy gets taken off of my own plate. And now karmically, I might be getting tied to that other person. And it even gets to the point that I might even try a bite off of their plate. So the translation is that every time we look up from our own path to compare ourselves or to judge someone else, or we get caught up in someone judging us, we kind of karmically tie ourselves to another's energy. And consciously or unconsciously, we start taking on that karma because we're talking about it, we're thinking about it, it's taking over even our energetic field. So the energies get linked unintentionally. So to prevent that, especially, if it's not a huge karmic tie or something that was, something that's meant to be on your path, it's just, someone on the internet or, maybe a friend or whatever it is, we want to send that person light and even like a nice prayer. So something like, hey, universe, the divine, whatever you choose to believe in, please wrap me in light and wrap this person in light and uplift both of our energies so that this energetic tie naturally kind of loosens up and it moves away and we call our own energy back. So if someone sends you energy, then you protect yourself in the light that, we practice in satsang, and especially during meditation, and you pray for yourself and anyone who, might want access to your energy, that they heal and they continue to grow spiritually, and that you stay protected and grounded as well on your own path, calling your own power back. So the good news is that when you put your focus inwards and you practice satsang, you actually start becoming aware of all sides of yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you're naturally going to stop wanting to judge people. And you're naturally going to increase your own level of empathy and genuine understanding for others. And even your happiness for others will increase because you're more than grateful for the blessings in your own life, both spiritually and physically. And you know that there's more than enough to go around, but even with what you have, you'll be very content. So, you know, um, someone else's success, happiness, or judgment isn't going to affect you as much eventually. And, as you continue to meditate, your energy will elevate. You'll be peaceful and content in your own connection with that higher light, the divine, God, whatever you choose to believe in. And that's kind of why we're here in satsang, because we want to reduce that karma. And when we sit in meditation, we're allowing ourselves to see all of these aspects of ourselves so that we can move forward on our spiritual path and so that we can be less held back by Maya, the illusion, the things that are here to kind of be a distraction. So if that's something you're dealing with, it's something we all deal with at a certain point. And hopefully, by sitting in meditation again and again, these kind of energies will loosen their grip on you and you'll be able to elevate your state of consciousness. So that is just my food for thought today. Dad, if you would like to continue on that chain and then guide us in meditation.
But yeah, we'll talk about it after the meditation. I think this is a good point to go into the meditation. What I was thinking about as you were talking about the topic, um, you know, there are levels of being, and at different levels, different uh, or energies affect you differently at different levels. Um, but where does it culminate? Where there is all oneness. Um, so all this is true, but once we create this, uh, you know, energy center in our heart and focus on that, build that up, um, the effect is phenomenal. Then some of these things that you're describing, which is ground reality, if you take the higher road, get to a higher level, uh, you know, you are affecting the environment, yourself, and others in a huge way, um, in terms of oneness with this transcendental energy creates uh, this energy field that takes us farther, and so much far up there, uh, that the way we perceive, the way we think, the way we interact, all that changes, and transforms us um, in a way that we cannot fathom right now. So to do that, I think that's what this meditation is all about. Um, so let's practice the meditation, and then we'll discuss further. So eyes lightly closed. First thing we do is, make sure that we are in a still and relaxed posture, because, you know, by closing our eyes, we are stopping the sensory input that distracts our mind. Sitting in a relaxed posture, every time the body moves, the mind moves with it. So for the next few minutes, we want to focus on this one thought alone, that we are observing this transcendental energy in form of light, and this light is entering our heart, enlightening it, and then this light is distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. We are becoming the transcendental energy, and mind wanders away, which it will. It's natural. Once you become aware that the mind has left the, uh, you know, the focus that you intended, um, just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy in form of light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are becoming one with this light. We'll start with music. It helps concentration, and then music fades away, and then we go deep into silent meditation on transcendental light. And then we'll transition out uh, with music again. Let's start now. So happy Saturday, everyone. And today, I think I'll ask Parul to reiterate some of the things that she was talking about. Um, and usually it is good to focus on one topic and elaborate it further, but I think today we'll go away from that and Parul uh, will elaborate further what she is thinking. I will talk about, I'll actually share um, a, a YouTube video that I watched this morning. Um, I had just thought that, I've been watching a lot of TEDx videos lately, very profound stories, thoughts, inspiring, uh, you know, uh, concepts, very, very deep concepts, very inspiring. So today I had thought I'll share one with you, but then I watched some, uh, you know, someone who went to India and talked about oneness. And they were, so I'll share the link. But two thoughts that actually there are few more, but two thoughts that I want to talk about. So one, uh, so this person was in advertisement industry in New York, and he said my job, the way I understood, was to create demand. And what that meant was to influence people to want products that they possibly don't want, really. It's a, it's a weird thing, but um, you know, when I was reading about positive psychology, in the foreword, the author was saying that they uh, looked at psychology, how it evolved and developed, and so much work had been done, but it was entirely focused on problems. So, this positive psychology evolved to focus on uh, how to not let these problems come, how to uh, be proactive, how to prevent, how to evolve a psychology that makes you resilient, that makes you think positive, go to a higher ground up front so you don't, you know, get into all those issues that then have to be dealt uh, with psychiatry. Anyway, so this person talks about, he was uh, in this advertisement business, and things changed, and so he went to India and created this beautiful documentary. Um, then one other thing that was very interesting was he said that we talk about ownership and these wants and desires. And guess what? The Native Americans had hundreds of languages, and not a single one of them had a word which could translate to ownership. I mean, that one line, it's like, and it just made me, obviously, when I read and, in the backdrop, I always have satsang and how I connect with these concepts and expressions to what I have learned uh, as a young person, uh, you know, uh, the satsang concepts, which seem to be almost so foreign, uh, culturally. Um, so every time I hear something which is similar or emphasizes something that I had known since my childhood, just fascinates me. And one of Guru Maharaj's um, key principles or cornerstones of his philosophy was that live your life as a guest, because you don't own anything and you won't take anything with you. And just this, how, um, you know, Native Americans related with that is kind of very, very interesting to me. So before I ask Arvindji to talk about the gut and the brain connection, which is fascinating in itself, and um, the reason I want him to talk a little bit about that is more and more what's growing uh, with me is the concept that we want to tackle the monkey mind. We want to get to a higher state. We want to be more peaceful. But none of that can be accomplished until and unless we control what we consume as food. So we'll I'll pause on that. So Parul, anything you want to add to what you were discussing earlier?
No, actually, but I just saw this quote from Nikola Tesla like earlier this week that he said, "We are all one, only egos, beliefs, and fears separate us." So that was actually the root of what I was thinking about, which is that how individually we have this path to get back to that oneness, but then karma comes in, whether it's someone else coming in as like a trigger, or we're comparing ourselves, or there's actually some event that we need to go through. And it's almost like a distraction because we forget the one path to get back to oneness. So I was thinking that, and how it can become so overpowering over your life sometimes, these distractions. So that's what I was thinking about when I was originally.
Yeah, just coming at the same thing from a different angle. Absolutely. So Arvindji, if you would be kind to talk a little bit about the gut and brain connection here. I was reading somewhere that there are hundreds of millions of neurons, if not more, uh, in our gut. So you.
Oh my God. Just after this blissful meditation, I mean, what can I say? First of all, thank you so much for, you know, uh, allowing this participation. And people like myself, so far away, can imbibe in that and connect and gain that blissful grace that Guru Maharaj started through you. And I'd like to begin by saying that any knowledge that I've gained, or any aspect is really the blessing of Puja Papaji, your dad, by whose grace I was able to initiate my career, and by whose grace I was able to learn anything in this life. So thankful for that. I'll just, in terms of gut and brain, so it's so important for us to remember that Puj Guru Maharaj said that Anhi Brahm hai in Hindi, Anhi Brahm hai. In other words, what we eat is actually that transcendental energy. What we get to eat, and nutrition is transcendental energy. And depending on what we imbibe and eat, it's actually what we eventually become. And there is so much truth to that, how we think. And so in sort of in the medical science and psychology and psychiatry, that gut brain connection is important. The gut, as you rightly said, is bathed by neurons. It's not just a mechanism of absorption, it's also surrounded by two plexes, mesenteric and myenteric plexes, Meissner's and Auerbach's plexes. That's a basic human physiology. Those neuronal plexes are predominantly sympathetic and parasympathetic, and they connect through the vagal axis to the brain. Vagus is predominantly parasympathetic, but certainly I'll just read a few lines. The gut brain axis is a bidirectional communication system where the gut can influence the brain function, including inflammation. So the gut inflammation, so the inflammatory foods, unfortunately, they are mostly meats and things of that nature that have free radicals. So free radicals cause stress in the neurons of the gut. These neurons start to behave well or ill depending on the environment, the milieu intérieur, what Claude Bernard hypothesized hundreds of years ago. The internal environment that these neurons are subjected to depends on the radicals, the free radicals, or absence thereof. So gut inflammation can trigger the brain responses because after all those neurons go directly through the vagus to the brainstem and they spread to the brain. You can imagine the old style bulb lighting up filament from below. The filament lights up gradually and then it provides light to the entire bulb. Similarly, it's the filament, lower parts of the filament, the gut, that convey that energy to the brain. The connection involves neural, humoral, metabolic, immunological, and microbial signals affecting both the gut and the brain. So, what we eat also encourages the distribution, ratio, and proportion of different microbes in the gut. There are billions, trillions of microbes. The types of microbes that develop and grow, and that ratio, that actually dictates how well or ill we will be. And there are conditions that are directly, and in the past I practiced, as you know, Parkinson's disease and neurology, and we know there's plenty of evidence, irrefutable scientific evidence, that subjecting the gut neurons to toxins causes neurodegenerative diseases of the brain, including Parkinson's, including Alzheimer's disease, other neurodegenerative progressive diseases. So gut signaling is important. It's also important the hormones that what we eat. So cortisol, noradrenaline, dopamine, histamine, the positive hormones come from gut as well as negative hormones. Cortisol is a negative hormone, and you can imagine that the positive effects like serotonin and dopamine in the brain are also originating depending on what gut foods. There's such a big topic, Pujbaya. I don't want to bore everybody, but basically, you are absolutely correct. And Guru Maharaj is the one from 1930s onwards that wrote on several occasions through Sadhana Ke Anubhav and all those books. See, I humbly say that neuroscience, modern science, metabolic medicine is trying to say what was already said by Guru Maharaj 100 years ago. What can I say? Thank you.
And yeah, thanks, Arvindji. Um, and I think what you just talked about. We want to go further, and Paula is appreciating this, and I feel this year we want to really go deeper into these subjects, and I think I want to keep it very simple but deep. And that's how Guru Maharaj, really talked about very, very, very deep topics in colloquial language, in very simple to understand um, stuff. This year, I want to go and double down on this, not because I mean, we are complete here. I love this session. I love what we're doing here. But not only that we need to convince ourselves, we want to change further. We want to go further, go higher. And for that, last week we talked about um, the website that we are developing, the community that will come around it, more structured instruction, more coaching, more. I want to spend more time because the more I find there is, um, for lack of better words, the more I find that some of these things that I have been hearing since my childhood, which have helped me, are either totally getting lost in somewhere or culturally or otherwise, or uh, even when we know there is a practice, there is this discipline, there is this approach needed to pursue it, to make it real for ourselves. Um, you don't go higher. Un- so uh, to push anything upwards, including climbing upwards, is requires effort, and and just this gut and brain connection. I mean, you can find this very obviously when you see, you're not feeling too well, your stomach starts, acting strange. I've seen it personally, right? So anyway, but what I want to make sure is that we, go further and go higher. Uh, and time is getting lost, so we are just losing opportunity. We can really do better. I have personally seen people live this purposeful, peaceful, uh, and amazingly resilient. See, 24, I was trying to translate one of the articles of my grandfather, and what I realized was that there's so much lost in translation. There is so much that was learned thousands of years ago, and we're just reinventing the wheel. Yes, we have progressed, but that progress, is that thing I talked about in terms of advertisement. Basically, we learned a little more again about ourselves, about our psychology, and what we do, create advertisement. What is that? To use what we learned towards somebody's bottom line. That's how this place works. You learn a lot, you then utilize it to manipulate or um, this or that, and I can go on and on. But I think here what we're trying to do is focus on understanding ourselves so that we can go higher as well as help others do the same, right? Love, light, and peace be with us and become us. That's the goal. So yeah, I'll send out information and about this new website. And so what I'm thinking is that we'll release this in this community and this set of things into a beta. And all of you, and I mean it, all of you are the hosts, right? You will be hosting others and helping each other to learn, to just, you know, can't say it more. It's just light, love, and peace in abundance. That's what we should have.
I just wanted to go back to Arvind Uncle. I really liked what you said today. And maybe if not this week, maybe next week, if you want to prepare, I would love to hear maybe like some things that can help the brain, help the gut connection. Um, because I think it's so true. Like even personally, like in the evening time, I drink like chamomile tea, ashwagandha tea to calm that cortisol that a lot of us, it's been spiking for a lot of us. People are talking about cortisol phase, they're talking about high stress. So I think this was a really important topic that you brought up, and would love to hear, if not this week, maybe another week where we can have some foods that are beneficial for our bodies and minds, and so that we can apply it practically.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I just wanted to say, repeat what Pooja Sanjeev just said. The negative aspect sometimes, is the research more focuses on disease, and the science that I studied and practiced always looked at the disease aspects and how did that disease happen. Whereas the concept that he said, for example, looking at good psychology, positive psychology to prevent progression to psychiatry and mental illness, so you try to catch the horse before it bolts the barn, if you will. So that's the idea, and you're right in asking for that. I'll have to look up more things because my mindset, disease, illness, but I've got to go back to the basics myself, and I'll study and try to I might need your help in putting the words together because it's difficult to make it so simple. You make it simple. People like Sanjeev make things simple because, and if I may, look at Southern March issue. Pooja Ghanshyam uncle said that, and I have got to go back and find it myself. March issue of Southern had a article from Guru Maharaj himself. It was brought back, and it spells out details, if you will, of food and health and all that. So if I may suggest that also. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love, maybe next week we can plan a whole topic around the food. We can bring up the March article, and then if we can have like practical things, like I know like wild blueberries are really great for nutrients. I eat goji berries every day, like in my tea. Dad knows I'm like a tea addict over here. So,
Yeah.
but
Tomatoes have lycopene,
yeah,
things like
100%.
that.
How to get protein in good ways, like without the meat, maybe without the free radicals. So this would be a great topic to add.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. And then would love to hear anybody else, like if you like today's topic, any of the topics or the food or joining the community. Like if anybody has questions, just feel free to come on. Christy, would love to talk to you. I know you were liking the conversation too.
Hi. Oh,
Hey.
Sorry, I couldn't turn it on. I was like pressing the button. Hi. Hi,
Hey.
everyone. Hi. That was so interesting.
So
Hi.
interesting.
So interesting. And yeah, the changes that I've made in the last 4 months, I've reduced my meat drastically.
Wow.
Drastically.
Yeah.
I've been having green smoothies every single day. And like the super green powders that has all the super fruits, the super greens, and I felt like my energy has been a lot more vibrant, and I've been able to think more clearly, which is something that's been difficult.
Oh my gosh.
So
Something about
definitely
the
personally,
greens.
yeah, go for it. I'll show you the one.
Yeah, please do. Because I swear, like green juice, green smoothies, it like literally energizes you from inside. The difference is
Exactly.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got all the vitamins and minerals in there that we need,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing to be able to think more clearly just from making such a simple change. Now,
Yeah.
growing up Greek my whole life, meat is like the center of everything in the family. It's like lamb, barbecued lamb, beef, all of that. Now, I maybe will have chicken maybe once a week
Yeah.
and fish maybe once a week, but I'm trying to just have vegetables
Yeah.
and like nuts and pulses and all that stuff, all the healthy stuff.
Oh my
But
gosh.
with a kick because it can get boring. So like I've been adding spices and I'm a cinnamonaholic. I love cinnamon. And
Yeah.
it's a natural anti-inflammatory and a natural anesthetic like cloves. So if you have a sore throat or allergies, I just make hot water, two cinnamon sticks, and maybe three or four cloves, and your throat just calms down, and some honey as well. So it's just all the using some of the natural remedies that seem to be getting a bit lost. So
Yeah,
yeah, I just thought I'd add that in because it kind of mixes in with what we were just saying.
I love that. I think it's so true. And also like, spices like cinnamon or, rose and stuff like that has a very
Yeah.
like high vibration. So yeah, I mean, I love this topic and I think we should be talking about it more. But yeah, it's crazy how like even just being on the spiritual path, like it's natural for like the meat and stuff to just drop off because you don't want to
Yeah.
feel heavy. You want to feel
No,
so
it makes you feel really unwell. And when you know that your body gets bloated and you start sweating after you eat it, you're like, why is my body reacting so badly to this food?
yeah,
And then it won't react badly at all. In fact, you'll feel better after you eat with something else. So it gets you thinking. And I think as you progress in your spiritual journey, it's just a natural progression, like you just said. And I've been adding a lot of turmeric as well to stuff.
wow.
That's an amazing anti-inflammatory with a little
Yeah,
bit of pepper, black pepper as well to activate it. So, which I found really interesting.
Well
yeah,
I don't
said.
know,
Well said.
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know why, but it's incredible to hear that.
I know.
Thank
So
you.
turmeric is huge in Indian cooking. We use turmeric in a lot of things. I didn't know about the black pepper until people were using it here, but yeah, it's a huge inflammatory, so good for like healing, even like
Yeah,
topically you can use it to heal stuff. So huge in
amazing.
cooking and
Mm,
stuff. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing because that
that's okay.
is so true. It is so true. Like feeling light and feeling good in your body is
You don't
huge.
want to go to bed because meat takes so long to process in our bodies. So we have it for dinner and then we go to bed with a heavy stomach. Like I would have constantly been kicking the covers on and off because it makes you so hot.
Yep.
And I was looking into like Chinese foods as well, Chinese concepts of food and how some foods will make you really too hot and some will make you nice and cool or too cool, and you have to find that balance. And it's
Yeah.
so interesting, but it's like going down a rabbit hole. There's so much to learn.
Yes. I'm
But
really into Ayurveda. Have you heard of Ayurveda?
yeah, I think that's a part of um, that actually mixes in with the Chinese stuff as well. The Chinese medicine. It's interesting how I guess over in the East, uh, some of the concepts all coincide. Same with the Korean. I think it's called hanbang. Have you heard
Uh,
of it?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I just know
So
about like,
hanbang is all the herbs and everything that we're talking about, and how they use it for traditional medicine and how they add certain things into their soups just for anti-inflammatories or so amazing.
yeah, I'm obsessed with that stuff. And I think in Ayurveda, they have like body types. Like some
Yeah,
body types can't handle warming food. So cinnamon might
yeah,
not be as good because that's more warming. And so,
yeah.
yeah, and then some body types need it because they need the metabolism boost and they need those things. So I think it would be really great if we can like add a little section on some weeks where we talk about practical foods that are spiritually good for everybody. Because then there's like, it's like tridoshic, which means all three body types can eat that stuff. So maybe we can
Yeah.
add that. But yeah, thank you for sharing. That was
That's okay. Glad
amazing.
to be back. I'm sorry I missed last week. I think because of the time change, for me, it's the middle of Saturday, and that's when visitors will turn up, or I'll get phone calls, and I'm like, go away! I need to meditate. I need to be at one with the light. So,
Oh my God.
um,
Well, thank you for being here. Whenever you can be,
okay,
we're happy to have you here.
thanks. See you guys
All right.
soon. I'm gonna try and come on in the evening on
Okay.
one of your other ones in the day. Bye,
Okay.
Sanjeev.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was just thinking that, we don't, talk too much about journaling here, but, if we could just take a little bit of notes on what we eat and what's the effect afterwards, we will very soon find out what works and what doesn't. So, yeah, thanks for sharing, Christy.
Yeah, it's like Taco Bell versus bowl with peanut butter.
Hi, I just wanted to add my 2 cents.
Yes.
Thank you, first of all, for the meditation. I was recently in a rabbit hole on YouTube of like random science topics. There was something about string theory that I started learning about. Again, I didn't go into detail. I didn't actually understand it, but on a surface level, they were explaining how the basics of how everything is made up of molecules, and every molecule has an atom, and an atom has a nucleus, and then neutrons, protons, blah blah blah. So now I was like, this is basic stuff that we learned in school, but we kind of don't think about anymore after we learn it. And, like, leaves our brains, and we don't think about those basic elements that make up everything. And they were describing an orange, and how, inside, if you go deeper and deeper, string theory believes that even inside the neutron there are these quarks, and inside the quark there's maybe possibly these strings of energy. And just thinking about that, I was like, whoa. If I thought about this while eating an orange, I think that orange would have like a tenfold effect in my body, because I would be so much more connected to what I'm consuming if I'm thinking about like the detail of what makes up everything. And so that just got me thinking about how it's really nice to combine spirituality and then also a mix of like scientific research. So I like that today that we talked about the gut and brain connection. And I think obviously, like, Arvind G has probably done like years of research on this, so we're not going to understand it to that level, but um, it's nice to have a simplified version, and um, and just little bits of information that we can absorb these ideas better, and it just helps to further the connection with everything that we're learning. Yeah.
I mean, immediately, like, my mind is going to everything is energy, and that is
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
something that is connecting both, because both are like acknowledging that everything is energy. So, I mean, my mind is going to like Chintan again. How, I mean, people have literally experienced magic when they just wrap their food in light and you eat it as.
Mm.
So I think if you want to simplify the science and go the spiritual route, like, it's you're eating
No.
light, you're drinking light.
Yeah.
Everything is energy, everything is light. So, Dad?
Yeah, I think this was, in a way, at some point it must have been so well understood that all our religious places of worship have some food connection to it, right? It's uh, of different kinds, but food and worship is very connected. So the whole idea is that if you uh, so what you think you become and what you eat you become as well. And so if you think of just by just changing your um, you know like I don't know, it's just a mindset change. And if you change it to that I'm consuming this transcendental energy, um, as I'm consuming uh, food, it will have a phenomenal effect. Um, but
Yeah.
but everything we eat, yeah, there is a aura, energy, and Ashita just took it to the next level.
I mean, that was just like a surface level piece of information I got. So it just made me think, imagine if we knew more and more, how much more we would be connected, how much more intention we would have with everything. We would treat everything like prasad.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah, that's like kind of the point.
yep.
But food is like fuel for your body. And so it's either fuel or it's like draining you. Yeah. But thanks, Ashita. That was pretty cool. Gayon, I think that's a new name if you want to come on and say hi.
Charan Sparsh Bhaiya ji. Hi Parul, hi everyone. How are you, Bhaiya? Hello? Oh,
No, we can hear you.
oh,
I think Dad's on.
Oh, I was speaking on mute. Sorry. Namaskar.
how are you, Bhaiya?
Yeah. Good. Very good.
It was a
How,
really nice session, Bhaiya.
thanks for joining. Are you at home today or in the truck?
I'm at home. I'm like off from past 2 weeks. The work
Oh,
is very
nice.
slow right now. Yeah,
Okay, cool. So you're taking some time,
yeah.
more time to meditate.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for the session. Great session.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Karen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I would say that I definitely enjoyed the meditation. So much for
Okay, awesome.
that. And the topic that we were just discussing is very interesting. I'm also definitely interested in how she affects our brain and our body.
Yeah, we're hopefully we can make this like a new section of the session on some weeks so that it's like practical and people can apply it. But yeah, I think the gut brain connection is even more important today. Like, I don't know. I think we have so many things, so many options like Uber Eats and fast food and pizza. So if we can balance a little bit and get some good nutrients in, I think it would be great. But yeah, thank you for joining and coming on, and hopefully we'll see you more often.
Thank you. I definitely enjoyed again.
Yeah, I think the mic is cutting out a little bit. I can't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I said I definitely enjoyed the meditation in the session, so I will be joining you. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we're here every Saturday, and then if you do have time on Tuesday evenings, we're also 7 p.m. EST. So, and we're starting a community, so hopefully we can join there so that people can see when we're meeting up or if we have in-person meetings. So, but yeah, thanks for joining, and so nice to meet you.
So thank you.
Yeah. Geeta Auntie, thanks for being here. Sangeeta Auntie, Meenakshi Di, Banu Bhaiya, Abhishek Bhaiya, Paula, thank you guys for being here. Onkar Uncle, Renu
Father Charan Sparsh Bhaiya. Hello,
Yep.
Parul ji.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Always good to see you.
Yes, same here.
Nice.
Namaste Bhaiya, Namaste Parul.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for coming. How are you?
Thank you.
Happy Saturday and Namaskar ji.
Hello. Thanks for coming as usual.
Pranam Bhaiya.
Namaskar.
Pranam Parul ji.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Feel always blessed.
Mhm. All right. So,
Meenakshi.
hello, Minnie.
Pranam Chachaji. Belated happy birthday, Parul.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday, Parulji.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Is Christy still on? Yeah. I just found out that Christy's mom's birthday was April 17th.
Yeah, same day.
Oh,
Absolutely synchronous.
Special day. But yeah, the synchronicity, like you were saying, it's crazy.
I was like, April 17th? That is
But
great.
yeah,
We'll send a prayer for her too.
thank you. It's Easter obviously tomorrow, and even that I don't celebrate, my mum really celebrated it, so it's going
Oh
to be
my,
another difficult day.
yeah.
It's just been hurdle after hurdle because it's Mother's Day, then her birthday, then
Yeah.
Easter.
Spring is packed with the mom
Yeah,
energy. Sending you,
yeah. But sorry, go on.
I was just saying, sending you love and hopefully
Thanks.
you'll be able to.
Well, that meditation just now actually gave me some strength. I didn't have any imagery or anything like that. I just felt this energy just settle into me just slowly as we were going through, and just a calm come about me. And it
Mm-hmm.
was almost like being held
Yeah.
and strengthened, you know. So I think I needed that definitely. So thank you.
Yeah. That's why it's
Yeah,
like, every time just having the no expectations because you don't really know. Each day will bring something new. So,
yeah,
and sometimes it's just, you're just sitting there. You're
yeah.
just,
I was just sitting there, but I mean, it was completely no thoughts at all, which was really lovely, and just feeling something
yeah.
being there and around me, which is so magical and
Yeah.
mystical. And it's like, wow, what's happening? Like, am I going crazy? But then you just know you're not.
No,
It's
yeah.
like a knowing.
It's like a
So
peace, like a
yeah,
contentment. Yeah.
exactly. So I'm just happy that that's happened, and I feel strong now and re-strengthened, ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wishing you the best and obviously,
Thanks.
like, hopefully just feeling magical energy of her presence and just
Yeah,
good vibes. So, yeah, we'll send a prayer for her.
thank you. And also the community thing. I can't wait for the website, and it's
Yeah,
a really
same.
good idea that we're all hosts and we can all help each other. And if you would like me to ever hold meditation, I'm happy to do that as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely like once the community starts, I think we'll like figure out like opportunities, whether it's like in person or together here or in coaching or whatever it is. I think we
Yeah.
can figure that out like over the next couple months. So
Okay.
so
All
yeah,
right, guys. Well, I have to go. Sorry, Sanju. What were you going to
great.
yeah,
say?
so watch this video I have posted on the chat. Uh, it deals with you know the topic of death in a very very subtle way, and the oneness that I think we had talked about before. It's like you know, sometimes we think that we are bubbles on the ocean, and then all those bubbles kind of dissolve into the ocean. So spirituality is more of like identifying ourselves as bubbles versus as an ocean. So once we think that we are part of this ocean of consciousness, there is no beginning, no end. Uh, it's only uh, we pop up and then, you know, go back into the ocean. Uh,
Yeah, it's a really lovely way of thinking of it, isn't it? It's
Mhm.
comforting, and then it just you realize how much you're actually a part of spiritually as well, and that's all within us. We just have to unlock it and start to notice.
and I have Minnie, you, Arvindji from London. So I personally cannot wait to be there. But again, like uh, we meet here or we meet there. I mean, obviously, meeting in person is so much different. but really looking forward to it. At some point, it'll happen.
Me too. We'll get there.
Yeah, the
When
UK.
it's the right time.
Yeah, the UK is really shaping out well.
Okay,
So,
good.
I know.
Mhm.
Good, exciting. Everything's just happening as it should. It's all unfolding. So we just have to sit back and wait for when the opportunity opens up.
Yeah, literally that. Yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing all of that.
Thank you, guys. I do have to go, but
No
have an
worries.
amazing.
And yeah,
Bye.
love, light, and peace be with you. So we were wrapping up
Blessings to
anyways.
all of you.
Take
Bye.
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 All right, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Hopefully, it was a good session, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Namaskar, bhaiya. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Belated happy birthday, Parul.
Thank you.
It was on 17th of April.
17th, yeah.
Nice, nice. How was it?
It was amazing, magical day with the family. Lots of eating.
Nice, nice. All right.
All right.
Happy
All
birthday.
right. Bye, bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Paula. Bye, AC. Namaskar.
Bye, Paula.
Banu.
Sadar Charan Sparsh Bhaiya. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Sangeeta, Auntie Renu Di, Minnie Di. Urban Uncle again, thanks. And Banu Bey.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I just quickly